Hi Stampers, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com with another Stampin' 101. So today I'm going to show you something that has to do with punches and sponges. So why would I have all of these 8 million punches on my desk? Well, I'm going to show you a card that I can't say myself 100%. My good friend Rhonda and I came up with when we were brainstorming one night on really cool ideas that I would be able to share with you guys. And I thought of making, well, I should say, she thought of this part of making an onion. And then I thought we could make an onion card and we could sponge it. And we could use this awesome stamp set that luckily is carrying over into the new catalog called Here For You. Well, this just stinks. So I'm going to show you how to make this really cute card real quick. But the technique we're working on today in the Stampin' 101 is sponges and kind of punches. So we'll do it as a duel. So I have every one except for one of these circle punches. So this is from the current catalog. This is the 2016-17 annual catalog. Just so you know, that's the front of it. Whoopsie. And basically what I did is I used all the punches that I had. I'm missing one of the circle punches. If you don't have all the punches, the other thing that you could use is the layering circle framelits. And the only thing you'd have to do is just crank your circles through. And you could do this as straight edge circles or the scallop circles, your choice. So anyway, that's something else that you could do as well if you don't have these punches. But what we're going to do is I have a piece of Wisteria Wonder and I have my Rich Razzleberry card ink pad, which I haven't done this before, so this is going to be, we're learning together on this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start punching out some circles. So I'm going to punch, this is 2-inch. So 2-inch circle, 1 3/4, 1 3/8, 1 1/4, 1 inch. See if I can fit that on the end. 3/4. Whoops. And 1/2 inch. Okay, so now we have all of our circles. Let me just get these out of the way. And I'm also going to figure out what I'm going to do as a base card. And I thought it would be a good idea, now that I'm thinking of it, we can just use the leftover piece of this Wisteria Wonder, and we'll just use the other half of it to make the base card, and maybe we can layer it onto a very vanilla or a white piece, okay? So I'm going to grab my Stampin' trimmer really quick, and we're going to just cut this off here. So that would be 5 1/2 would be our half. Okay, so you can make another card out of this. You just have to get a different base. And we're going to take our scoring blade and score this at 4 1/4. And we'll put this over here on the side. And I'm going to get out a piece of very vanilla. And we'll cut that into a 1/4 sheet. So we're going to go ahead and cut this at 4 1/4. Oops, scoring, sorry. And I'm going to just go ahead and cut this down to 5 1/4. And then I'm going to trim off the, and you can actually use both pieces if you want, because you can put your inside piece in. I'm going to cut this to 4. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. That way it'll layer on there just like that. All right, so let me get this out of the way. And now we'll move on to our sponging. And let me get my yucky piece of paper here since I have a clean sheet. So what we're going to do is grab a sponge, and what I did is I took the decorative label punch, punched out a card, and then just put a staple through it so I can hang on to this. I'm going to move this out of the way so it doesn't get ruined, and then we're going to just put our sponging, or put our ink onto our layers. So it's going to kind of look like a, hopefully, red onion. Now another thing you could do if you don't have sponges is you could use your sponge daubers. And they just go right onto the tip of your finger. And I'll show you those in just a second. Let me just finish going around with this. And it really probably doesn't matter how far over you sponge, because they're going to layer on top of each other. So most likely you won't really see if you go too far. So don't worry about that. Just make sure you get a nice color edge. There we go. Okay, so if you don't have that, you can use your sponge daubers, and these just will dip into the ink, and then you could just rub them on there the same. These do give a little bit more of an intense color, so just so you know. Let me close this up. And what we'll do now is I'm going to just layer this on with snail. You could do it with mini glue dots if you want. You could actually do this, if you'd like, with some dimensionals too, if you want to give a little more dimension to your onion. And we might do that as we get closer. These layers going to be so I missed my layer out there. So if you have that other punch, that would be a good idea. I'm going to put this on the back of this one so I don't mess it up and not get it in the center. Okay, so now what we'll do, let me just hit this with my bone folder. Sorry, getting a little crazy here with my Stampin'. That was the Blackberry Bliss coming out saying, use me, use me. Okay, so we're going to put this over here. Kind of looks also too, if you think about it, like a rose. So you could definitely make this bigger if you want. And if you have the layering circles, that will work out really well to make it just a little bit larger. But what we're going to do is we will stick with, how about we use black? We'll use basic black. And we'll pop this up here. Well, I haven't even used this one yet. I can't even believe that. All right, pop this onto a clear block, and since it's my first stamp, I'm going to stamp a couple times because sometimes it helps it to load the ink up a little better. All right, so I'm actually going to put this on a dimensional on the card, and if you want to get funny, you could always do some I'm not going to take that off yet, do some fumes kind of coming up from the onion. That'll be another funny thing that you could do. So we're going to just put this right here across the top. Let's see, bottom, top. Yeah, we'll do bottom instead. Well, this just stinks. There you go. How cute is that? Somebody's having a bad day. You can let them know that you are that wonderful friend that commiserates. And then the other thing you could do while you have this, since you have the Wisteria Wonder still on your sponge, is you could sponge the edge of your card base just to kind of tie that together. And I wonder, now that I think about it, I'm going to try something. This is stamping on the fly here. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the very vanilla piece too, just for the heck of it. But I'm going to try something, and we'll see what it looks like. Worst case scenario, we can always flip it over. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to ink this right now. I'm going to put this here, and I would figure, so if you make these, you might get to make like some swirls. That's a good idea. So I'm going to ink this just lightly. And where the onion, maybe the fumes would come up, we'll do like some swirls as if it were stinking. It's a little more spongy than I thought it would be. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like. Nah, that doesn't look quite as fumy as I thought. What my original intent was, and now that I've botched up this side, we'll go ahead and move this with it, is to make like the little stink fumes. Which you could do that, but yeah, might be a bit too corny. So what we're going to do is we're going to just flip this over, and I'm going to grab my stamp one more time. We're going to go ahead and ink this up in basic black once more. Might have to work on that technique a little more to figure out what I want to do. It looked better on this paper over here. It came out a little better. Okay, and I'm going to do this just a little bit more on the edge of this. I did just recently rinse out this sponge, so it could just be that it's a little bit too wet, that the ink isn't smudging the way I want it to. So that could be it, but whatever. No big deal. It'll at least give you a good idea for what you could do with your card for a friend that maybe needs a little bit of cheering up. So I'm gonna, since I've stamped all over this one, I'm gonna just go ahead and put some adhesive down here instead. Flip that over. I'll layer that right on there. And I'm gonna pop the adhesive off of the back of this dimensional and just stick that on. And then you can also go ahead and open this up, put something really cute on the inside, like, well, this just stinks. Yeah. I wish it hadn't happened to you. Hang in there. This is a really great stamp set for something like if your friend is a little bit snarky like I am, or you're trying to cheer somebody up with just, you know, not saying the usual nice things and just kind of like, hey, I know exactly how you feel. This is a great stamp set for that. So I think you need to get it here for you. It is available in the online store 24/7. You can also get all of these punches. And there's some great new stuff coming in the catalog. That's about all I can say because we still haven't been able to release everything about it just yet. But there's one more little thing that might make this card a little bit more complete in the punch department, if you know what I'm saying. And this catalog or this stamp set is carrying over as well. So thanks as always for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. I hope this has given you a little bit of a tip with how to sponge and how to layer your punches. Thanks for watching.